The fact is that today the price of fuel, of oil has been going down. And there's no way why it's supposed to be at this high price. And he will tell you, and he wants to blame Petrocaribe because they did not have the necessary supplies and that they have to buy from somewhere else. Well, then if you do that, then reduce the tax. All he needs to do, he could easily take off $2 tax and keep the price under $10. That's the least he can do. The least he can do. But yet, he continues to tax with the fuel, with the GST. I mean, he's putting on new taxes on new products on GST. So we are feeling that pressure as Belizeans. And his words gives me no comfort. But it's difficult, yes, it is. Yes, but as much as I'd love to bring down the price of fuel, then okay, if I bring down the cost of from the taxes, tell me where we're going to get the money to be able to do all of these things that we're doing. And we're hoping that we could eventually start to ease that as we start to increase in other areas where we could improve the tax collection, and as the economies continue to grow, that then we could then ease off on that, on those taxes and cover it somewhere else. But presently, right now, we don't. So if we were to cut that, then we may have to cut GST. We can't have the GST free weekends, the free education, the feeding programs, the scholarships, NHI. All of these things come from our tax monies. Do you feel comfort by the Prime Minister's words? A man that constantly changes his mind, a man that you can't keep him to his word, a man who promised his country that he was going to keep the fuel under $7 and that if the fuel price were to go up by $1, he was going to reduce the tax. A man who right now, the tax on fuel on premium is over $5, and you want to be comforted by his words? I don't think so. Well, I'm not sure if it would put at risk essential services. They use that to frighten the Belizean people. What I do think is that if you look around, you need to be able to cut the fat. You are telling me that we have a budget where we are spending over $1 billion. You can't find how to cut $2 million by reducing the tax at least by 10 cents or 20 cents or whatever it is that you want to do. I do not buy that. Again, it is a government that's bankrupt of ideas. They are clueless in how to run a government. You see, many of these people are not business people. The Prime Minister has been an attorney all his life. All he needs is a little room with a computer and access to internet, and he can do his work. He does not know what it is to have a payroll. He does not know what it is to be able, as a business, that you have to go and borrow from the bank lots of money and make your bank payments every month and make payroll every week and every month. He does not know that. So it is easy for him to say, what is the easy way to get? Make it tax the fuel. I disagree with them. We can find ways to cut the fat. If you could answer that, I'd be happy to do it immediately.
The comparison PM
No, wait, answer me the question. If you could find me where, because along with GST and the importation, the taxes we charge on fuel is one of the our biggest revenue earners. Mm-hmm. So if we we reduce it by half, and that means that we're getting $50-60 million off from the tax revenues. If you could find me the next $60 million, I'd be happy to do it today. Collecting the taxes on fuel is one of the ways that we collect money to run the government. The problem with this government is that they are bankrupt of ideas. It is easy for them to tax fuel between 40 and 50%. Of every dollar that you pay at the pump, between 40 and 50 cents goes directly to the government. And it's an easy way to collect money. What the Prime Minister and his ministers fail to understand is that when they do that, they are creating even bigger problems for the country. The cost of living goes up, transportation goes up, cost of production goes up. It makes us uncompetitive, and once we become uncompetitive, then businesses start to either shut down or they start to get smaller. So then less economic activity takes place, and then by less activity, less collection of taxes that we have. So it's a vicious circle with the government, and they believe that, we're going to tax it more, we're going to get more money. At the end of the day, they are creating bigger problems for this country.
When you look at the cost per barrel on the world market against what we're paying
I'm not arguing with you about that.
It's night and day. So
I'm not arguing with you with that.
The average Belizean looks at that first and foremost.
And I'm telling you, the only reason we try to do that, and we're hoping that we could eventually start to ease that as we start to increase in other areas where we could improve the tax collection, and as the economies continue to grow. So if we were to cut that, then we may have to cut GST. We can't have the GST free weekends, the free education, the feeding programs, the scholarships, NHI. All of these things come from our tax monies that have a direct impact on the lives of our citizens across this country. So we believe that we need to find that balance. And as much as I hate to keep it where it is, that's about the best we can do at this moment.